Hello everyone, welcome to Jacqs Scraps. Thank you for joining me today. I have the second week of the October dailies from PinkOdd Bird prompts, and I'm excited to show you what I've created. So as I mentioned, I'm doing each week in its own little booklet, and then I'm going to put them all together in a journal cover at the end. So this was week 1. I'll link that video down below if you happen to miss it. And this is week 2. And I started off this week and I wanted to create a pocket to hold my movie list that's going along with the prompts. So I created this casket, and I just did that out of cardstock, added some tulle, spider web tulle in the back here, and some flowers, paper flowers. I created these paper hinges. Then I cut out the words with my Cricut, "Tomb of I Be Watchin'," and I thought that was kind of funny, as if that was his name. And then when you open it up, you would have the movie list. Now, I don't have it in there yet because I'm actually keeping it on my computer and updating it as I go along. I actually have a rating scale on the movie list. I'm a little OCD about my list. So I'm going to print it out at the end and add it here. So at the end, when I finished creating the whole thing, I came back and added this Tim Holtz post hitch at the end and made it a magnetic closure. I added some washi tape here, which is floral, so it gave it a nice decorative edge all the way around, and then I ended up adding it over here as well, and I did that to cover the magnets, and I think it worked out perfectly fine. So then when you take this out, it gives you the same shape of the casket, which I really liked. I was going to do tulle, but then I changed my mind. I like the way that I have it just down here, and then layered some sequin ribbon there. So this list here is all the prompts for this week, and then as I mentioned before, I'm including little notes underneath each prompt of kind of how I came to think about what I was going to do in the actual journal. So I'll leave that out as we go through, but I love that this is magnetic. It not only opens the casket, it opens the first spread. So the first prompt for this week was, let's collage a ghost and allow yourself to get creative with your mediums. That immediately made me think of Casper, the friendly ghost. And so what I did was I used my Tim Holtz Halloween tissue, and I had cut out some Casper figures on my Cricut. And then I just Mod Podged these two with the Tim Holtz tissue. I love how those turned out. And then, of course, Casper needed his own little castle. So I created this dimensional little castle, and when you prop that up, it says, "Can I keep you?" Because that's what Casper says in the movie to the little girl. I can't remember her name right now. Oh, Cat. Cat was her name. So I love this. This is basically a card design, and then I just included it here. This is very dimensional, I noticed this time around, so that was kind of fun. And then down here, I actually took Casper, turned him the other way instead of the tissue paper way, because I really like that it's just like a black silhouette here. And then I wrote a little story about a ghost that we had on the farm that we lived in. So that was day 8. So the next prompt is, let's make a magical broom and write about where you would go. Well, I couldn't pick one place, so I decided to create a map of all the places that my witch would go. I created her this great fanciful broom with some tulle and some beads, and I used some jewelry pieces as well to give it some nice little shine, and cut her out using my Cricut with glitter paper. And then I added a house, one of the moon stickers that I got from AliExpress, the Target bat, and then what was awesome about this sticker, it was perfect for this spread. It says Monster Street that way, Candy Corn Lane this way, which is actually in the first booklet. There is candy corn right here. So it kind of all just came together. I love that. And then, of course, Spooky Alley is this way. So in my stash, I had some glass pieces that I got from the Dollar Tree. And what I decided to do was use those pieces to create like the streets or the actual map of where you would go. And then I included little stops along the way. So if you leave your house, you follow the road here up to the Pink Palace Apartments, and that is where Coraline lives. Here's the button eyes. When you come out of that, you come over and you visit Edward Scissorhands and his lovely little gardens. This is a great sticker that I got off of AliExpress. When you leave there, you come over here and see the new modern house in Beetlejuice. And there is the old version on the back side. I wish I would have done more of these little flips, but I didn't think about it till afterward. When you leave there, you come over here to Collinwood of Dark Shadows. Love the castle. And then when you come out of here, you stop in and you see all the monsters at Hotel Transylvania. And when you come out, you can come down and visit Jack and his pumpkin patch and Nightmare Before Christmas. And when you leave there, you of course land in Hogwarts. Fabulous. I added a little dice here as if it was a game because I kind of had the whole Candy Lane game in mind when I created this. And over here I just wrote about all the places that she would go, just kind of what I just told you. Now if you come out of the house and you don't want to go to see Coraline, you can come down to see Beetlejuice and then come over to Collinwood. You can come straight down to see Jack and then to Hogwarts. So I made a couple pathways to go. So I really liked how that turned out. It was a total vision and it just came together. So for day 10, it was let's make an invitation to our ultimate Halloween bash. So this is reminiscent of Practical Magic. This is the book that they have, the magical book, and it's a little bit bigger. It's just a resemblance of their book. Theirs was probably shorter, but I added this great little paper clip here. And when you open it up, it opens this way. And this is Belladonna Definition, or Deadly Nightshade. And I love all the little potions here. This is a Paper Phenomena All Hallows Eve, I believe, paper digital kit. And this, when you open this up, you will see the telephone tree that Sally uses to call all the women in to help expel someone. So then when you open it up further, you have to actually turn the book because that's how it is in the movie. And then this is like the darker spells are on this side. And this is Bring Back to Life. And there's the potion, if you will, to bring someone back to life. And then this is another Paper Phenomenon digital image. She also has regular paper as well. And then, of course, here are your invitations. You are invited to Sally's coming out party, because if you remember in Practical Magic, they disclaimed that they were witches. So Sally finally had to come out and say that she was. And there's a midnight special event to banish Jimmy Angel Love. And BYOB, bring your own broom. I thought that was hysterical. And it is, of course, on October 31st. And then you have your little Admit 1 tickets. I gave them 2. So that was extremely fun to make. So that just turns back around. Did I put that in wrong? I think I did. Yeah, that's right. Put your little paper clip And on the back of this, I actually put 2 Velcro dots again. And then there are 2 Velcros here. Just match those up, and then it will stay in your book. On this side, I wanted it to be reminiscent of The Banishing. So we have the bottle of Diablo. I think this might be tequila. Yeah, it's tequila. And here is her little bottle of Belladonna. I put a tiny label on that, and then put some seed beads in there. Tied it around the bottleneck of the tequila. And this is like one of the witches. And it says, sweep him to the roses. And if you've seen the movie, that's what they do. They sweep him out of the house into the rose bed. And then this is, you know, I made those rosettes, and I never thought that I would be using them. So I'm just really excited that I already had those made. This is Calico Collage, Witch Design in Broom. But I'm loving that I'm actually using the rosettes that I created. So this was day 10. Day 11 is make 2 tags with trick-or-treating safety tips. And what safety tips were you given? So Paper Phenomena had this great image in her 31 Nights. I'll have to link those down below. And I love this, thought it was perfect for this prompt. Love the trick-or-treaters. It's going to the door and it says, knock if you dare. And so I cut into the paper, and her kit actually had these 2 little treat bags. So instead of tags, I did treat bags, and they both say trick or treat. You could cut out the zigzag, but I left it so that you would get the bag kind of feel. On the back, I wrote some of the trick-or-treating things that came from movies, like It'll Be Fun was from Big Daddy, Be Home no later than 1 hour after sundown was E.T., All You Got to Do is Knock on the Door and Say Trick or Treat from A Perfect World, and Don't Eat Too Much or You'll Get Sick is from Batman Forever. Those are great Halloween tips. And then on this one, I put a couple that my mom said was don't go into strangers' houses, stay together, and check the candy first, don't eat if tampered. And I put some of the Paper Phenomena elements on that tag bag. And then over here, I used that back trim that I just got from Joann's, and I sewed on these little charms so that they could dangle. And I got these from someone, and these are little candies, and I thought they were perfect for this spread. Oh, and of course I added this here, Charlie Brown, I Got a Rock. So it's like the last boy is telling his friends he got a rock at the last house. Hysterical. Love it. And that's day 11. Day 12 is take a picture of something Halloween related and write about it. Well, I decided, this is the day 12, and I decided that I am the 4th Sanderson sister. And I have a picture here of all of us. It's like we're at a photo booth. Here's the picture frame. We have our little witch hats on. And down here, I made this like pop-up camera. So it actually sits up. I don't know if you'll be able to see that maybe if I do that. Yeah. So it sits up. And then I added this little word that says, say amuck. So instead of say cheese, they're saying amuck. Too funny. So I love this. So I love how the frame comes across the word sister, but that you could still read it. So it actually looks as if they're standing in front of this sign. So I love that. And then over here, I found this great image of the Sanderson Witch Museum. So I printed that out. And up here, because I added something on the reverse side, which I'll show you in a minute, I added this come in, we're open, and I think that turned out so well because it looks funny. You know, here's Sally. I think her name's Sally too. Oh, I just realized that. And in Practical Magic, her name was Sally also. Anyways, So this says, come in, we're open, as if Sally's saying that. So I don't know, it's kind of funny. So let's flip this. So I just created this little montage because I actually found a picture of me dressed up as a devil one year for Halloween. So it says, so she would be saying, "Sister, what are you wearing?" And I say, "My devil costume, of course, an ode to our master." And then she's saying, "Suck up." And she's saying, "Oh, I should have thought of that." I was doing that. I was cracking myself up. So much fun. So day 13 is dressing up as a part of Halloween. Let's dress up our page with Halloween bits and bobs. So what I did was I immediately thought of Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas and her lovely little dress. So I had an SVG image of Sally in her dress, and what I did was I cut all the little sections out and used them as templates. I picked out some fabric. I wanted to give Sally a new dress, and I used more fall colors. I thought that would be great to go along with Halloween. Even though her purpley colors went as well, I wanted to do something just a little different. So I picked out these different fabrics. I have some silky ones in here. I love how that turned out. So I just cut out each one of these little sections of her dress and used them to cut out the fabric for her new dress. Then I cut out this like wonky piece back here out of cardstock, layered it on the foiled star background. And then I added this perfect little saying, says, "You're bewitching." Love that. So I dressed up my page, but by dressing up Sally. So the last day, 14, was let's Franken it up and make a bunch of piecemeal bits and parts of the spread. So I did this digitally. What I did was I had an SVG of Frankenstein, which I absolutely love this. And then what I did as an ode to Gene Wilder, I had watched the movie Young Frankenstein, and I then took images off of Google and I put them on his suit where all the white was. All the black is the shading. So I don't know if you'll be able to see very well, but these are all different images from the movie of all the characters. So those are like my piecemeal bits and parts, and of course I franked it up by using Frankenstein. Now what's fun over here is I have the normal brain, which you can't see too much about it, and then over here I have the abnormal brain, which is what Frank got, well, Frankenstein, what he got in the end. So I hope you'll be able to see that. It's really quite cool. I loved how that came out. There's Mrs. Frankenstein there with her crazy hair. And so I had him with this great, another great paper phenomenon background. Love that paper kit. Actually, so I used a couple of hers. This is the background. This one. This background here, I forgot to mention, is from her kit as well. I love the incorporation of flowers into the spider webs and moths. And I think that is it. Yeah, but I will have those kits linked down below. So this is day 14, and oh, look here. Really cool. So I didn't add too much more because I already had a lot going on in the background, and with his suit, I really wanted that to be the focal point, if you will. And so I just added this word monster because that's what they called him. You know, the town folk called him the monster. So that is my week 2, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have, and I'll see you next time.